So if a global pandemic creates a lot of unexpected free time for you, how do you productively fill all that time? Well, if you're Taylor Swift, you make an album that none of her fans, or anyone else for that matter, saw coming. Hello, this is TJR. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. I hope that at some point during this video, you will take a moment to click like, click subscribe, and smash the bell notification icon so you can know when I release new videos. So first, let me say, full disclosure, I have never been a Swiftie. During her career, there may have been a few songs by Taylor Swift that I have enjoyed, but for the most part, her music has never really engaged me in any kind of big way. In fact, I would say that what has probably intrigued me the most about Taylor Swift is not so much her music as it has been how she has handled her career. Being able to pivot from pop country to straight up pop music without any loss of fan base or too much grief from critics. Taking a stand against Apple and Spotify, which is a topic that I feel deserves its own video. Deciding not to be silent about her political beliefs and doing so in a very measured and dignified manner versus doing it in a very self-serving or bombastic manner. A year ago, I was asked what I thought of her previous album, Lover. I said that I liked only a small handful of songs from the album, with the tracks You Need to Calm Down and the album's title track, Lover, being the two main songs that I could find myself wanting to keep revisiting. And that's why I didn't review it. I just didn't have that much to say about it. But last week, Taylor Swift released Folklore, a surprise album that a large portion of the music press is calling a masterpiece. So I decided I would sit down and listen. So first of all, I would say that there is no doubt that this album is a departure. Gone is the more bombastic pop music, and in its place is a more subtle and more mature, but still pop musical direction. The majority of this album has her collaborating with either Aaron Dessner of The National and with musician, songwriter, and producer Jack Antonoff of the bands Fun and Bleachers, who has worked very successfully with her in the past. Also in the mix of this album is a collaboration with Justin Vernon. Now, to get started here, I will admit that while the album's opening track entitled The One is a nice appealing track, it didn't seem like the strongest track to open with. I think Folklore would have been better served by opening with track 2 entitled Cardigan, a dreamy pop song about lost young love that piqued my interest with its references to J.M. Barrie and lyrics that felt to me like they were intimating a sense of dark sensuality. I was drawn in further by track 3, The Last Great American Dynasty, and one of the better, stronger tracks on this album. Taylor Swift and Aaron Dessner tell the true story of heiress and socialite Rebecca Harkness, who in her time was considered controversial and drew the wrath of the society that surrounded her and whose house is now owned by Taylor Swift. The nudge-nudge, wink-wink humor of this track made this one very endearing to me. Track 4, entitled Exile, features a guest appearance by Justin Boniver Vernon. It is a very good duet and a strong bit of modern folk pop. I like the sparse melancholy piano. I like the weepy chorus that separates the solo vocals between Vernon and Taylor. In fact, I think this vocal part could have provided a strong musical hook for the song if it had also been used on the track's instrumental opening as well as the song's closing. Now, track 5 also uses the weepy chorus to great effect. It feels like a mix of real and synthesized vocals, and if it is, the two are well balanced. But aside from that, track 5, entitled My Tears Ricochet, just doesn't really grab me in the way that the previous one did, and it feels just a little bit too by the numbers. However, this all changes when I listen to track 6, entitled Mirror Ball. This is, to me, the most un-Taylor Swift song that I have heard from Taylor Swift. There is a nice, swirly, psychedelic instrumentation to this track, and Taylor's layered vocals are tremendously pleasing to listen to on this one. If you had played this song for me and told me nothing about who I was listening to, I would have demanded to know so that I could listen to more. This sentiment stays true for track 7 entitled 7 and track 8 entitled August, both of which are bittersweet looks at the memories of and the passing of youth. Now, it is during these 3 tracks that I've just mentioned that I stop critiquing Folklore and just become immersed in the musical imagery that the songs are conveying to me. 7 has this wonderful, soft, lilting, arpeggiated instrumentation, and August, while very dream pop, does betray a slight 60s pop vibe to it. I also found myself equally engaged by track 9, entitled This Is Me Trying. This is another dreamy pop song that is contradicted in a good way by its lyrics describing inner struggle. At this point now, I am just really immersed in this album. Unfortunately now, how do I describe this? Track 10, entitled Illicit Affairs. This song begins very nicely with its beautiful opening acoustic arpeggio fingerpicking, and the song does begin its lyrical story also very nicely, building up with each verse up to its bridge, which then explodes with the frustration of an illicit affair. And after this bridge, I am waiting for that closing verse that's going to tie everything up, that gives closure. Unfortunately, though, there is no closing verse. Now, perhaps this song is about a real illicit affair that Taylor Swift had, and this song is based on that. And perhaps in real life, there was no closure for her, so the song has no closure as well. That's artistically valid. But I still feel that this song, at least, needs to have that. Not everything needs to be 100% autobiographical. I feel like this song starts a story, and it needs to finish it. Now, after this track, I have to say that the album does start to lose a little bit of steam for me. Not that the songs that follow are bad. Invisible String, Mad Woman, Epiphany, Betty, Peace, and Hoax are all pretty good tracks when taken separately. But I think there is an inherent problem when you are trying to maintain a certain mood or feel throughout an album that is slightly over an hour long, and you keep using the same musical colors from track to track. I really do feel that Folklore could have benefited from being a leaner album. Of the songs making up the last part of the album, what stands out is the track entitled Epiphany, with its sparse, dreamlike a cappella narrative about the experiences of her grandfather during wartime, and the song entitled Peace, with its bass guitar-driven line and lyrics about having a more mature view of romance. Once again, the last half of this album, there's really nothing wrong with any of these tracks, but it just feels like musically we've already heard these songs previously on the same album. And in the same way that the album opener entitled The One was not the strongest track to open the album with, it is certainly much stronger than the album's closing track entitled The Hoax. All in all, Folklore is a pretty good album, with enough standout tracks to make it worth your time to check out, even if you are, like me, not a Swifty. And once again, I want to state that I think this album could have benefited from being just a little bit leaner. While Folklore is definitely different for Taylor Swift, it's not something that I haven't heard other artists do previously, even if she is doing a very good job with it. Because in spite of my criticisms, nothing feels disingenuous on Folklore. So I will close by saying that this is the most Taylor Swift I've enjoyed in a single sitting. So much so that I am now genuinely curious to hear what she does next. This is TJR. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. If you disagree with me, please let me know why. I want to take a moment to thank my Patreon supporters who make making these videos possible. If you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, please click the link. We recently passed 20,000 subscribers. I want to get to 30, so please click that subscribe button. Lastly, I just want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you all stay safe and healthy. Take care. Bye-bye.